Welcome to Techzine TV.
Hi, welcome to Techzine TV. We're still at HPE Discover and we're talking to Mark Waters. He is Senior Vice President of Services at HPE. We're going to talk about the AI Factory. With me is, of course, Sander.
Hello. Well, it's actually a longer title, right, Mark, that you have. So maybe this is your one chance to actually sort of say your title in full.
Well, I look after services, but linked to that is customer success and also solutions, which is the kind of full range of my responsibilities at HPE.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the AI Factory today. There were a lot of announcements around this product during Discover this week. Maybe you can enlighten us a bit on what the AI Factory means for companies.
Yeah, well, an AI factory. Well, firstly, it's a portfolio rather than just a product. We have a kind of whole range that we deliver under the banner of AI Factory. But this is really our solution for enabling organizations to start to extract value from the use of generative AI technology.
Okay, interesting. And it's a product you run on-prem, of course. It's HPE. How extensive is that software suite for your customers?
How extensive is the software?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so from an HPE perspective, we have our AI Essentials software. So there's probably a couple of ways to think about it. As you look at the AI Factory portfolio, we've got our more turnkey appliance-orientated solution, which we call private cloud
Mm-hmm.
for AI. Now, in that's got hardware, HPE infrastructure, Nvidia GPU, and it's co-engineered with Nvidia to also unlock the value of our software and Nvidia's software. Nvidia up into effectively the NIMs and the blueprints, and our AI essential software. So think about automation, orchestration to really enable customers to unlock the value from the technology. That's within our more turnkey private cloud for AI, much more standardized, small, medium, large, extra large, very quick, out of the box time to value. And then you start to get into AI at scale, which is much more composable. Here we're talking about a much bigger scale where there might be more customizations required for the end organization. Maybe we're getting into model builder territory.
I think that's a good distinction to make, right? Because AI Factory, like you say, it's not a product. There are many different ways around an AI factory, right? So there's the very specific kind of full stack solution, but you can also, because a lot of companies already have something, but they still want to buy or build their AI factory, right? How is that? How do you see that from an HP perspective in terms of using your existing stack and building an AI factory on top or adjacent or whatever to that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you can use AI optimized hardware to kind of work through some reference architectures to start to get some AI workloads up and running. I think to really unlock the value, it's the software stack that starts to bring that to life, and that's really what I think a lot of the goodness is that builds on that infrastructure base point. But from my perspective, what really delivers the outcome is bringing the right people, bringing the right service set, and from an HPE services perspective, we've got a suite of AI services
Mhm.
particularly tuned around delivering AI factories or AI platforms for our customers.
Is that like the USP for the AI Factory, the software part of what HPE is delivering?
I think
Combined, of course, with their hardware expertise, but
I think there's a few USPs, right? Firstly, the fact that we can deliver it in a private cloud motion in a customer's data center, which gives a cost advantage. It gives IP security. So I think that's a really important starting point. Then effectively, you've got the tight integration, the co-engineering with NVIDIA, and our ability to deliver kind of, particularly in the turnkey private cloud for AI, the solution out of the box with the software already integrated, so you can get to time
But obviously
to value.
that's quite a hard concept for a lot of, I think, viewers and customers to grasp. I think because a lot of companies are saying everybody's working very tightly with Nvidia, right? So what makes your
Great
collaboration?
question. I like it. And the difference being, we're not talking here about a reference architecture.
No.
We're talking about a solution that out of the box, out of the factory, comes with the software loaded and integrated. So I would say the difference is if you think about in kind of traditional terms, the difference between a reference architecture and an appliance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we work with Nvidia to create a much more appliance-like model with the software integrated,
Yeah,
so you can speed
yeah.
time to value.
And in that model, the services also play a much bigger role, I would imagine, because there's many services that you can think of, right? You can think of services around ingestion, about fine tuning, about deployment, all these things, right?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about services.
Oh, well,
So, as we get, I think services are key.
Yeah.
Because actually the question is, we know that organizations are increasing their investment in AI. It's about delivering tangible benefits for the business. And that's where services come in. So at a high level, I think about AI services. We think firstly about skills. Skills are fundamentally important because part of that is cultural and the leadership to drive the adoption of AI technologies within organizations. Skills is a very important place to start. And actually, we partner with Nvidia to deliver their Deep Learning Institute globally to put those skills in the marketplace. Second is around data. And that might relate to the data center itself being ready, but also data readiness and the data platform underneath. Then you get into architecture. So we're now into AI factories and what we just talked about.
Yeah.
And then finally, solutions. And solutions is around bringing the use case, selecting the right use case, enabling the right use case, bringing in the right ISVs. And that's the kind of at the high level how we think about services. And
Yeah, and how do you see that from a customer perspective? I mean, I imagine you speak to lots of customers as well, or to at least to
certainly do.
to the market. I would
certainly
hope so.
do. It's
Otherwise,
one of my favorite parts of my job.
I hope so. Well, otherwise, what are you doing here? But what do you see in terms of customer pain points or customer demands, or what are the best inroads into this?
Yeah, I mean, I think customers specifically looking for two things, like fast time to value and then operational efficiency. And don't underestimate the second one. How do you make these environments operationally efficient, particularly if you're making a big investment in an AI factory?
Sure.
And so I think those are areas where organizations are looking for support, they're looking for knowledge, they're looking for proven capability. And that's where our services come in to deliver against those two key points.
We see a lot of focus on cost, probably. How do you respond to those to those?
Well, cost is important, right? Particularly in the current macro environment, everyone thinks about productivity and efficiency. So how do I think about cost? Well, first, I think that's a driver for looking at a private cloud.
Yeah.
AI solution is cost. I see a financial benefit in getting to value more quickly, fast benefit realization. But then operational efficiency. So how much automation can you drive into the environment? What value can you get from observability? Can you ensure the right degree of uptime? The way you manage alerts, the way you drive fast incident management, the way you get speed resolution.
How are those things different in an AI factory compared to any old factory?
Well, I think the fundamentals are the same, but the environment is slightly different, isn't it? When you think about an AI factory with large scale GPUs versus a more traditional.
How hard is it?
But the fundamentals are the same.
How hard is it to manage an AI factory if you have a really large infrastructure?
Well, if you're working with Hewlett Packard Enterprise, obviously it's kind of very, very simple
Easy.
to manage
Yeah.
an AI factory. No, I think these are complex environments. I would say if you're going to be deploying an AI factory at scale, one of the questions is, do you have the right services team and do they look like AI Avengers? Because it is a complex environment when you start to get into the services. So let's walk through the services. You've got to deploy an AI factory. The first thing you've got to do is build. So you've got to think about data center. Yeah, and you've got to then think about, what is the cluster architecture? And then you've got to install it. And then you've got to integrate it, which is complicated in itself. Okay, so now we've built it. Now you've got to harden this thing. But you're putting important data on this. So your security protocols and being integrated on that. Loading the software that enables that environment, right? So then, all the way through from you go into, build, harden, then how do you effectively enhance? Now you start to get into multi-tenancy. If you're building a big AI factory and you're serving multiple groups, how do you drive that multi-tenancy in the environment? And how do you get automation and orchestration? And this is the software value, that orchestration layer where I think we have real differentiation.
Because I was going to say, what you're saying now, that sounds very, very, very complex and very much like, I'm not going to do this because this sounds way too complicated for me.
Then you just build it. You also need to update it, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. You get into the one, but the one step not to miss, right, is to enable. And I think, in terms of enable, I think about the developer experience, right? Developer efficiency, which comes back to your point on cost. So here you're loading the AI workloads onto the platform, and you're starting to build service catalogs to enable fast and efficient use of the environment. Because again, you've got to be efficient given the investment, not just in building an AI factory, curing one, but running one.
Yeah. And you need to know all of that beforehand, ideally, right? To know where what you're getting into.
And the great news is, from an HPE services perspective, we have absolutely orientated our capability around building platforms, hybrid platforms, and then specializing with our business unit around AI, around the software stack, and just doing exactly what you're talking about. Having the team that looks like the Avengers for AI to support our customers on those two things, right?
Hopefully the problems will
time
be
to
not
value and operational efficiency. Sorry.
Hopefully the problems won't be as dire as the things that the Avengers go for. But I get your point.
Yeah, it's about having the right team with the right skills,
Yeah,
right, to be able to come in to maximize your investment.
But you just explained how hard it is to build it and to integrate it and to manage it and to update it, and how much of that does HPE take away then, or offer as a service?
HPE, so our services capability goes across the full customer life cycle. So right there from day -1, which is starting to select the business case and kind of plan for this, in day 0, when you then start to get into planning to install and go live, to day 1, when this thing lands, and then into day 2, the optimize and run. So we operate across the stack. And my kind of argumentation point would be is services is part of HPE's superpower to make the AI factory value proposition very real and deliver this important point, tangible benefit against the investment.
Again, the superpower. It's
I'm picking up a theme here,
there's
right?
a superhero theme going on here, I think. But
We watch just too many Marvel movies.
no, but I get your
Well,
point.
it's really important. People are important, and we have intellectual property in services, right? Number 1 is our methodology. So frameworks for adoption. And don't forget, it's not just about the technology. It's about management of change. Getting AI value means a change in behavior in organizations, and we can understand.
I think that's an interesting final point. Is the people? How do you? Because you already mentioned it before at the beginning of the chat, skills and all that stuff. How do you handle the people in terms of when you're going for an AI factory and you want to go all into that?
Yeah, but I mean, so success in AI is an art and a science. The science we've talked about a bit in terms of the technology and the software that enables and empowers it. The art is through leadership, because you can build the best AI factory you want in the world without the right use case and without the right adoption, you're not going to get tangible business benefit. And that leadership means that the leadership of the end customer needs to be right behind that. You need to give people skills. They need to understand basic AI concepts and how that relates to their function around the kind of primitive use cases that exist, and then how you tune them for those particular functions, and enable people bottoms up to understand the use case and start to get value from it. When you lead like that, you get behavior change, and that's where you get adoption. This is such an important part of unlocking value from AI.
Well, but that may also mean that you don't have the right people who are actually interested in this. Or do you see that this is of interest to everybody and everybody will get on board in the shorter or longer?
I would say now it is mainstream to be testing and working with AI and to be planning to embed it firmly into your company's strategy. I do not think there are companies out there that are not doing that. And from my perspective, this isn't just to thrive, it's basic survival you need to have to be taking advantage of AI ahead of your business competition.
Right.
Okay.
I think that was an interesting point to stop.
Okay,
Thank you, Mark,
great.
for your
Thank
input.
you. I enjoyed that.
Hey,
Yeah.
you manage it all right. So
Thank you for watching Techzine TV. We will be back with more videos from HPE Discover. Keep watching.
Thank you for watching Techzine TV, the channel about enterprise technology that brings you IT insights and analyses from events all around the globe. We cover everything, everywhere. Visit techzine.eu for more written in-depth articles and analysis, or keep watching techzine.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels and share your favorite videos with your colleagues. We'll see you soon.